Now I'm going to ask you about your financial situation. Now, this is because people, they'll want to know what to expect when if and when they get into this area. Yeah. But while you were developing your different interests, did you have to have a second job on the side?
Well, everything is a second job or second or third job. Teaching, I'm an adjunct instructor, so it doesn't really pay that much, but what it does, it gives me opportunities to speak other places. The same thing with writing. You don't make a lot of money out of writing books unless you're James Patterson or somebody like that, then you can do real well. The vast majority of authors don't make money off writing. They make money off coaching, they make money off speaking, they make money off other areas. I'm up for a ghostwriting job, for example. A guy's contacting me about a ghostwriting job. Oh, wow. And then I've gotten calls, had clients over the last couple of years who have contacted me about private coaching for public speaking, and that has worked out really well. So there's a lot of what they call revenue streams, and what I need to do is get that more focused and get that to the next level. It's done really well as far as what we've done has been very successful. Pedestrians, I don't even know if you know this, but I think you do, but Pedestrians has been turned into a screenplay.
Yes, I was going to. In fact, his book is an award-winning book.
Yeah, we won. The Pedestrians has won 3 national writing awards. Ooh. Writers Digest called it a masterpiece of American history, which we're very happy about that. But we got a screenplay, and we're working on. Yeah, thank you. It's done well, and it's the first book ever written on these women. And we can go to.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that later
in our other show.
Okay.
So tune in.
But there's a lot of multiple streams of income coming in now, and it's going a lot more into writing and a lot more into speaking, and it's doing much better. I'm having a much better year this year than I did last year or the year before or the year before. So.
This is why I say he's been around. He's been around. He's gotten around. What would you suggest to anyone thinking about going into what you do as a speaker, to a young person out there? Or to anybody, in the past their prime, who would like to do what you do.
Past your prime?
Well, that's over. I'm trying to say over 30.
Oh, way past the prime. Okay. The first, you've got to develop a plan. You've got to develop, this is what I want to speak on. And it's got to be something that people would be interested in hearing. Joining Toastmasters was a great move for me. It'd be a great move for most people because that's where you learn the real basics. Then you move up into Rotary clubs. And what happens at Rotary clubs a lot of times, not saying this will happen, but a lot of speakers I know, they don't want to give free speech as well. The reason I'm at the University of Dallas teaching public speaking is because of a free speech I gave in the fall of 1998 and started teaching the semester after that. And that's been 19 years, so that one free speech, I made tens of thousands of dollars, off that one so-called free speech. So that if you go out and you get good and people get to know you and you do your follow-ups and you build an audience, you build a following, that's how you get started in this business. And then it just branches out from there.
So you're a well-known speaker, too.
Hopefully. I like to think so, yeah.
So you recommend to younger people, or to anybody really, just to go out and start talking.
Yeah, public speaking is a skill that almost any CEO or any executive will tell you that you need to master. You at least need to be competent at it. And few of us are actually trained in that arena. And that's why we fear public speaking so much, because no one ever taught you how to do it. In the book, I go into this whole deal about no one ever gave you a book and expected you to read the book without first teaching you how to read. And no one gave you a math problem without giving you the mechanisms of showing how to solve that math problem. But in public speaking, we do this all the time. We put people in front of an audience and they're just supposed to somehow magically know how to do this. And it's very damaging. And what happens after a while is you get this idea that I just can't do this when no one ever taught you how to do it in the first place. In my classes, and I did this at SMU or do it at UD, is no one talks the first 2 class periods. We go over, this is how the class is going to be run, these are the foundations of a speech, this is what's expected of you. And we go through that over a 2-week period. Then when they give their first speeches on the third week, then they're ready to go because they understand what the audience is looking for. They understand what those expectations are. And if you don't do that, then you get people who they'll have a stand. You've seen this. Oh, stand and make a 2-minute presentation on yourself. Well, in the first place, what does that mean? What am I going to tell? Well, I'm 5'11", I got brown eyes. What else? How far along am I?
I'm diabetic.
Exactly. Yeah, you go into all these deals and it's just incoherent and it makes no sense. And you're just trying to get through it. And then you sit down. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why I hate doing this so much. See, and in my class, we don't do that because,
you teach
as
them how to
I
love
said, that's right. We say this is what I want. I want this and this and this. And if you did that, you've done your job. And everybody gets through it. And so at the end of that class period, I'll say, give yourselves a hand. You're speakers now. And they're all thrilled because I've had students come up to me and say, I didn't think I'd get to this point at the end of the semester, much less after my first speech. So you set up an atmosphere for success, and I tell them that.
That's great.
We set up an atmosphere for success in that you will be successful in your first speech, and everybody is.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's not.
No.
I would like to be one of your students. Okay, we're coming down to the end. So I'm going to turn this over to Harry and let him talk about whatever he wants to say about his profession, and or whatever what he feels you might need to know, or how he feels about his job, or and how hard it was.
The biggest challenge I have almost every day is budgeting the day. I've got a series of projects that I'm working on. I'm supposed to write every day. I'm supposed to work on speeches every day. I'm supposed to practice every day. And it just depends on what I've got coming up. But the worst mistake that you can make if you are going and becoming an author or want to be a speaker is isolating yourself. This can be a very lonely profession. I work pretty much by myself almost all day, every day, and there's organizations that I have joined. I've joined a lot of organizations that have helped me. I mentioned Toastmasters. I'm a member of the Dallas Press Club. I'm a member of the National Speakers Association, DFW Writers Workshop. So I go to all these places, all these events. It's not a weekly deal. Some of them are weekly. But if you start feeding off that and you start talking and meeting with other people who are doing what you're trying to do, you get ideas, you get encouragement. There is a lot of ideas exchanges, and you get to work on your craft. And that's almost impossible if you don't get involved and if you don't join some of these organizations that'll help you out, and you can help them as well. So there's a symbiotic relationship, and that would be probably my number one piece of advice, is to don't try and do this on your own. There's lots of help out there. There's lots of people who are willing to help you get to the next level, and you in turn will end up helping them.
Okay, good enough. Since you showed up on our show,
Yeah.
you have a little gift from me.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's Small Tales About Young Kids,
Okay.
by Richard Bennett.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I think you might enjoy that. And this is all for today's episode of The Vocations. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.
Very good.
Well. And how hard it was. Harry, the floor is yours.
Thanks, I think.
Sorry about that. Okay, good enough. I said
Quit pointing it out.
I'll cut it out.
That's another thing. Quit pointing it out.